Happy Friday. Today we're doing another tourist activity in Panama City that is a you should not miss one, and this is the archaeological site of Panama Viejo, or Old Panama. This is going to be the very first settlement, the very first European settlement on the Pacific side of North or South America. So there's a lot of history here, a lot of archaeological importance, and we're going to take you in and show it all to you today. Well, some of it. We want you to come here and pay and support projects like this across Panama. So if you enjoy visiting places like this, make sure you click subscribe, hit the notify button, and don't forget to join the I Go Panama Facebook group. Over 20,000 people asking and answering questions about anything and everything Panama every day. We are the largest and most active Panama Facebook group. So click the link below and we hope to see you over there. All right, so until that, we're going to go inside and see what there is to see here at Panama Viejo. Okay, this is an activity that is definitely not going to break the bank. So if you're a Panamanian citizen or resident like we are, you get in for $5. Jubilados, pensionados get in for $2.50, and foreigners. So if you're not a resident here, you're the where you at? Extraner. I'm not saying it's foreigners. Okay. It's $10. All right, so we've paid our money. We're gonna extranjeros. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go in and see what there is here. Okay, so we literally have no idea what to do anytime we go anywhere, but apparently we're supposed to get on this little tram car. We don't know where it's going. We don't know what it's for. I don't know. Here we go. Okay, so yes, this is taking us to the archaeological site, and then he said we can either walk back or take a shuttle back. There's supposed to be a cafeteria down there, and apparently a museum, and the ruins, the tower, everything. So yeah, that's where we're heading. It's kind of cool to see the ruins of the first settlement of Panama with the skyline of the current Panama in the background. Very diametrically opposed. All right, so our little shuttle bus dropped us off right here at Museo de la Plaza Mayor, Samuel Luis Garcia de Paredes. Okay, so we're gonna go check out the museum first so we can learn about what we're going to go look at, and then we'll traipse through the ruins. Okay, so we went upstairs in the museum, and there's a beautiful view here. This must be the tower the man on the shuttle was talking about that we're able to climb. They have a little snack bar down here, so if you come hungry, they got you covered. But we're gonna go in and see what the exhibits are. So the first exhibit is talking about how this used to be an indigenous fishing village, the site where we're standing on, and then the Spaniards, and I believe it was 1501, put the first city on the Pacific coast of the quote-unquote New World on this site. And so we don't just have 1,500 years of, or well, I guess it's 500 years of like Spanish conquest, but we have about 1,500 years of pre-Columbian history underneath our feet as well. So they do a lot of research in this area to find out, you know, how life was way back then. So it's pretty interesting. They're saying that Panama, you know, back before the Spaniards came, was kind of split into 3 territories. This map only shows 2, but it was basically Gran Chiriquí, Gran Cocle, and Gran Darien. So Panama City used to be part of Darien. You can see just how big it was all the way through to here, and then this was Gran Cocle, and it's showing all of the different tribes that lived in the different regions. And they're saying that they found similar craftwork, artifacts, and things like that between all of the different regions, which showed that they had constant contact with each other and were trading. there's a part of the exhibit that talks about the tombs and the burials that they have found on this site, and it's really interesting, telling you all about how they positioned the bodies and what that meant. Some pottery. But again, this is a wonderfully well done museum with tons of information, and if you're like me and need it, it's in Spanish and in English. So these are different tombs. So these are like actual excavated tombs that they have on display. Wow, they say that this one was around the year 1080. It's over almost 1,000 years old. So after the Spanish arrived, you can see the settlements that they created. So I guess the oldest settlement in Panama, and please look, I don't know enough about this to be 100% sure, so please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But it appears that the oldest settlement is Acla in 1515 on the Caribbean side, and then Panama City in 1519, then Nombre de Dios, which looks like maybe it's kind of where Colón is now, and then Nata down here, which is a little bit more on the interior. These were all coastal. So there is an interactive like diorama kind of display. So there are buttons here that tell you about different parts of the city. Like if you want to find the Convento de San Jose, you push the button and it lights up right there. Same with the Convento de Santo Domingo. Pretty cool. And then you go from pottery in the last room to implements of war in this room. The next exhibit is talking about the Catholic Church's role and how all of that worked. And this is really interesting. These are just like stone monoliths from, I guess, the original churches, and that one is 1530. There is a room that's like climate controlled where they have some of the religious artifacts from the 16th and 17th centuries, which is pretty amazing. They have all this, like, I don't know, I see anything like this as priceless, because it's so full of history. You can't put a price tag on that. Okay, so this room is talking about how Captain Morgan, it's not just a rum, it's a pirate. And he came in and ransacked the city of Panama Viejo, and he did that in 1671 with the support from England to do that. And apparently it was the largest fleet of ships and pirates that had ever been seen. They came in here, ransacked everything, and by the time they were done, the city was basically destroyed, and more than half of the population was wounded, sick, dead, or missing. So that doesn't sound super fun. All right, so the museum was well done, like I said, in English, tons of history. It talks about pre-Columbian days. It talks about the conquering of Panama by Spain. It talks about the development of the settlement here in Panama. It talks about the pirates coming in and basically making this into a nothing burger and kind of destroying it, and the settlement having to move to where Casco Viejo is now. That was the second settlement where this settlement moved to. And then it talked a lot about like what is happening in the homes and kind of just general life in this area during those times. So the museum's well done. I highly recommend it. Now we're going to head out and start exploring some of these ruins. Because my husband never misses a chance to correct me, please, dear, what did you say after I turned off the video?
Actually, the pirates didn't destroy the city. What had happened is when they came in and conquered and beat the Spanish actually ignited all their gunpowder barrels to destroy the city. So after the pirates came in and defeated them, they spent the rest of the evening trying to put out the fires and save the city, because that's what Captain Morgan was paid to do by the English.
Well, thank you, Captain de la Historia de Panama. By far, the most prominent feature on the landscape is this one in front of me, the tower. And being someone who's not a huge fan of heights, we'll see how far I get up that. This image is kind of cool. It shows you the evolution of the cathedral, because we're in the tower of the cathedral now. So all of these prior incarnations of it were mainly built out of wood. So they were destroyed with time and by fire until they finally created the one that we're in now. So we're in the tower of the church that was created in 1649. And here's the seaside view from the top. So now looking out, I don't know if you can see them on this camera, but out there kind of on the horizon, you see all the ships that have either come through the canal or getting ready to go through the canal. And back, about 400 years ago or so, it would have been pirate ships on the horizon. And as you walk to the other side, you can see the museum here, and obviously the beautiful skyline of Panama City in the background. It's quite lovely up here. It's a climb, but it's worth it for the views. Back on the ground floor level, lots and lots of ruins. I mean, they're everywhere. It's kind of cool that this stuff got saved, because it did say that after the city was moved to the Cathedral Viejo area, that most of the people that were left here were poor, like too poor to move to the new city, and they kind of took a lot of the materials for building new buildings. So yeah, it's kind of surprising that it's lasted this long, especially in this climate. I barely last 10 minutes out here. As someone who loves Panama so much, that means I have to love almost, not all, almost everything about Panama, including the history. And I have had such a fabulous time learning about the history of Panama at this oldest European settlement on the Pacific coast. It's pretty interesting stuff. I highly recommend that you come out here to Panama Viejo. There is a magnificent museum with so much information in it. You're gonna learn a ton. And then you can kind of come out and wander amongst the ruins of the original city. After that, I would suggest you go to Cathedral Viejo, which is the second one where this city moves to. Explore that area, have dinner there. It's the perfect Panamanian history tour. All right, so until next week, have a great one. Make sure you click subscribe, make sure you hit notify, and don't forget to join the I Go Panama Facebook group. I'll see you over there. Until next week, bye-bye.